Geronimo, and I'm going to show you how to make your own rawhide glue out of these rawhide chew toys that I got from the Dollar Tree. First thing you want to do, or let's go over what we have here. Matter of fact, let me show you some of this I made earlier from the same stuff. I don't know, maybe you can see it better here. I have a top view camera going at the same time. That stuff, let's get some of this on my hand. That's the stuff I made from those really cheap pieces of rawhide. Alright? Alright, so how did I make it? Kind of got my own way to do it, as I usually do. But we're going to use a basin here. It's a kind of a aluminum serving tray, a foldable sterno stove, some sterno, or you know, off-brand stuff, and put your rawhide in there, because the first thing you need to do is soak it. Because it's not going to come apart while it's hard like that. So we need to soften it up before we can undo it. And then we need to cut it. And then we're going to boil it, or not boil it, matter of fact. We're going to give it heat. And it will cook down. Let's go ahead and put the water in here. It'll cook down and make rawhide glue. So we'll give that some time to soak, and then we'll continue, okay? Alright, so it's been about 10-15 minutes, I can't remember exactly, but it's starting to break down and getting soft already. So what you want to do is kind of help it along by opening it up. And what we want to do is get this soft enough to cut it with scissors. Alright, so a lot of this stuff is starting to be able to be cut. I'm going to just kind of cut it and place it in this container here. So we need to drain a little bit of this water out, probably. I'm not really sure. It just depends on how much water is left in there. But we're going to cut them in small pieces. Alright, so it ended up, maybe the water is just a little bit too much, but that's going to be okay. We're just going to cook the water down slowly. As it evaporates, it's going to move down, and it's going to turn into this really thick stuff that once once it starts drying, sticks really well. Alright, so we'll just add the the rawhide from the dog treats right back into this pan. Take the sterno. Usually these are 6 hours, so you'll definitely at least get one batch out of one of these sternos. I got this from one of the people who cater at my work. You know, they usually don't end up using the whole thing for one lunch. Lunch lasts 1 hour, so I usually got like another 5 hours worth of sterno left in this sucker. So they're usually not that expensive in the first place. We'll put this in here, light it up. Alright, and it's really cloudy. Hopefully you can see that from the sky cam. Nice and cloudy, that's what you want. All that gunky stuff like that boiled down is really going to get that nice sticky hide glue, okay? But I'm not going to edit this video. I'm going to let you watch this for about 3 hours because I know you want to see exactly what's going on. Just kidding. We'll cut to where the important stuff is, and we'll come back, okay? Alright, so it's been an hour. The little sterno stove has been keeping just a nice steady heat. You can see the evaporation coming up, but if you look above, you can't see any boiling water. It's exactly what you want, so that's exactly why I've picked this size pan, this Sterno stove, because all the way down till about an inch of water, it will not boil. Then once you get to that point, throw it in the stove, about 250, 290, 300 temperature, and finish the cooking. But at this point, you know, until it gets down to that point, you're good to go, and it's really, you can walk off and do other things as long as you come back and check on it every now and then, stir it a little bit. So we'll get to the point where we're low enough to where we put it in the stove, and then we'll go back to the video. Alright, so this has been cooking for about 3 hours, just, you know, simmering with that little element there, one of those sternos. And it's cooked down pretty good. The consistency of the liquid, and it's really cloudy and it's starting to get pretty thick. So at this point we're going to go ahead and remove the rawhide from it and just cook it down even further and get it thicker. So I'm going to use this sifter, I guess you'd call it. I was watching a Quackoponics video and the Australian called it a scave. He said he just put a scave over it. That was a horrible accent. Alright. So just pour it in there like that. Separate them. You know what else I like to do actually at this point is I get some cotton. I'll be right back. Like a old scrap t-shirt. I'll put it in there and squeeze that stuff out just a little bit more. It gets a little messy, but it's okay. Alright, I got my t-shirt here. I'm going to pour the rawhide. I'm just going to use this basin again and pour the rawhide back in here. And so as to, you know, capitalize on as much glue as possible, I just make sure I wring this stuff out on here. Every little bit counts here. And then I'm just going to chuck this part. And we're adding the juicy stuff back into the pan. We'll throw it back on. I usually make it sit to where it will sit on the corner here and move it over and get it kind of deeper in that one spot. It helps it to not start boiling up. Alright, so at this point we're just going to continue to let it simmer, let the water evaporate out, get it nice and thick. If I were to cool it down right now, it would already gel, but I'm going to bring it even further, get it more thick. I think it works better that way, personal preference. Then we're going to put that into this jelly jar for saving, and you can basically just warm it back up when you're ready to use it, and it'll liquefy again. So, almost done. Alright, so at this point I've gotten it the consistency that I want it. If you want to take a look, let's mix it a little bit in here. And it's pretty thick. This is going to gel up really nicely. Alright, so I'm just going to use that same strainer, throw it back in this bowl. Don't do anything with this yet, let it cool off. Then I'll take it from the bowl into this thing, only because I've tried just putting the screen on top of the jelly jar and I got it all over the place. So, ooh, I got some stuff left over here. That's awesome. Alright, so we're just going to leave that open, let it gel up. When this cools you can actually scrape the rest of that off so as not to waste any. And I'll open up another jar and start putting it in that one. Alright, so I'm already starting on a new batch here, but I just wanted to show you real quick that that gelled stuff on here, you can rub it like this and then peel it off and throw it in. I've got an extra jar here. Just place that stuff in there. You don't want to waste any because, I mean, hide glue can be expensive. So if you make it yourself and you spend the time, you don't want to waste it, right? You don't want to waste your time. Alright, so thanks for watching Go Geronimo. Click like, subscribe, share my videos with others. Other people want to know how to make rawhide glue. Alright? Trust me. Share the video. Bye.